Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to BowlTV. My name is Matt Canizaro, and we are live here at Bowl 300 in Hermosillo, Mexico for the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. This is day 3 of qualifying for the women. The men bowled their 6 games earlier today, and now the ladies taking to the lanes. After this, we'll have one final round coming up tomorrow, after which 24-game pinfall totals will determine the 24 men and 24 women advancing to the next round. So it's been a fun but long week for the players. After today, 18 games will have concluded. Obviously, after tomorrow, that would be 24 games. We've got 54 ladies in this year's event, 64 men. All those players representing 68 different countries, one player from each. And we'll get you a rundown of what happened in the men's action earlier today. New leader for the first time all week. And then we'll keep you updated on what's happening with the ladies as things unfold for these 6 games. So we've got 4 on a pair, 4 on most pairs actually, 3 on a couple. So perhaps moving along a little bit faster. The men got done pretty quick today, threw a lot of strikes out there. I think as the players see this 41-foot oil pattern more and more this week, getting more comfortable. And the strikes are coming. So we'll have all the details for you. If you don't want to wait, certainly feel free to visit the official World Cup homepage. We'll get you the link to that updated. As soon as I get that saved, you can find it in the information box below your video window. All right, we've got that link updated, so go ahead and click on it, and it'll take you to the World Cup homepage. Great details on there. You can look at standings from the first 2 days, each day individually. You can look at overall standings almost instantly as the games conclude. Check out the men, the women. You can check out the player profiles. Also some great news stories on there that give you a little bit of insight into the players at this year's event. And if you have enjoyed our live stream coverage, as many have, hopefully, do see some thumbs down, but if you can give us your thumbs up and any feedback in the comments below, or in the chat room there, give us the chance to service you once again in the future. So good numbers, I mean job security, a little bit, and there's opportunity to get invited back to do this again next time. So looking forward to potential future opportunities, but thanks again for tuning in. If you are just stepping in, my name is Matt Canizaro, and you're watching the World Cup here in Mexico. 3rd time here in Hermosillo, and 6th time overall for Mexico to play the host. It's been a fun week so far. A lot of opportunity for the bowlers and their friends and family to enjoy the local culture. Many coming from distant places, but having a special time here. So thanks to all the folks who have made that happen. Bowling Center staff especially, working hard every day to make sure things run smoothly, and we're only partway through. We've got the final round of qualifying coming up tomorrow. Top 24 Friday morning. Round robin match play for the top 8 Friday afternoon, and then the televised finals on Saturday. That'll be 2.5 hours on live TV here in Mexico, but we'll have all that for you on BowlTV, so don't worry about that. You're not going to miss out on seeing who the 2017 World Cup champions are. Let's take a look at the women's standings in just a minute. Right now, we'll introduce our featured players here in our opening game today. We'll start with lanes 17 and 18 from South Africa. We've got Ursula Eckermans, and joining her from Lithuania, is your Rada Palamate. From Canada, Miranda Panis. And from Estonia, got Tia Ligay. And a 19 and 20 from England, we have Lorna Scott. From Hong Kong, it is Han Chan. Australia, we have Rebecca Whiting throwing 4 great shots there to start this game. And from Mongolia, we saw her son earlier, but now Shagdar Narantatuya is here to get her 6 games in. So Whiting off to a good start with the first 4. Lorna Scott, 3 out of 4. And Ligay on 17 and 18 with 3 in a row to begin as well. All right, looking at the standings now, coming into day 3. Leading the way from the beginning, Jenny Wegner. Started slow, but shot 300. Second game of qualifying, and has been the leader since. She is averaging just over 230 through 12 games. She is followed in the standings by Vanessa Timter of Germany, Rocio Restrepo of Colombia. Erin McCarthy of the United States is 4th. Host countries Maribel Orozco is 5th. Crisel Lynn Tabora of the Philippines 6th. Rebecca Whiting 7th at 180 pins behind our leader, Jenny Wegner. 8th place, CT Rahman of Malaysia. 9th, Ghislaine Vandertol of the Netherlands. And 10th is Edith Quintanilla of El Salvador, averaging 205.75. So a pretty big swing, almost 300 pins from 1st to 10th. And 24th after 12 games, Charlene Lim of Singapore, averaging 191.67. 2,300 is her score for 12 games, so minus 100. And it was back in 2008 here at Bowl 300. Singapore claimed his first World Cup. Jasmine Young Nathan. And Charlene Lim trying to keep that going. And the men's title was won by Derek Oath of the United States. So that honor, trying to defend that title, now belongs to Jacob Butchuff, the left-hander. And He made a run at the top spot on the men's standings earlier today. Ended up in the top 4 though, so good position heading into tomorrow's final round. I think he's got a pretty good idea on the fresh oil pattern. Now it's just a matter of keeping up with that transition and trying to make a run at this thing. Remember, tell all your friends. Join us here on BowlTV. 6 games of women's competition. Live scoring available. If you want to follow your favorite players. All right, so Rebecca Whiting's run comes to an end at 5. Leaves and picks up the 10 pin. So 32 lane center here at Bowl 300. Bowl 300. We're using lanes 3 through 30 for qualifying. Then we'll use the whole house once we get to the top 24. We'll shift our featured pairs a little bit, but you guys shouldn't notice too much disruption during those 8 games, and then on to the top 8 Friday night. Great shot there by Miranda Panis from Canada. Bouncing back from the single pin miss in the 5th frame. We're following along at the top of the leaderboards right now. Germany and Sweden both bowling on lanes 9 and 10. Jenny Wegner, the defending champion, is the player to beat. See if anybody will run her down during this 6 games. On the men's side, Mexico's Arturo Estrada led the event. First 2 rounds, led through 5 games of round 3. And in the final game, he struggled, but Ray Teese of England had a terrific block. 1460 he bowled today. Highest block of the tournament to get past Estrada, who actually dropped to 4th place. So Teese is on top, followed by Colombia's Oscar Rodriguez, Team USA's Jacob Butchoff, and then comes Estrada. Still 6 whole games to go tomorrow. We'll see how things shake up. Last year, the host country's Wang Hongbo took home the World Cup title, only the 2nd time in history somebody from the host country has won. And now 2 talented players from Mexico trying to add their names to that list. All right, terrific start here for Whiting from Australia. She led more than 1 round last year in Shanghai. Came up a little bit short when it was all done, but looks motivated to find her way back to the top of the standings here in 2017. And she entered the day in the top 10. Back a 7th overall. 180 pins behind Wegner. For Whiting in the 9th. She'll step up in the 10th with a shot at 279. Nice break there for Lorna Scott of England. Lorna Scott 21st coming into today's competition. And trying to work her way up the standings just like her teammate Ray Teese did. Ray was 10th starting today. Went out and got some pins and said that the goal for the afternoon is to help Lorna do the same thing. All right, trip 4 for Lorna Scott to start the 10th frame. 214 max for her. Whiting going to step up 279 possible. Eckerman's on 18, representing South Africa. One more for Whiting. No style points here at the World Cup. Brooklyn for Lorna, but still looks the same on the scoreboard. One more good count puts her in the 2 teens. And here's Whiting up on 20. Stood up on that one like she did not like it. Hustle down there. She's in the 270s. Jenny Wegner going 214. Vanessa Timter 214 as well. So no change in the top 2 of the standings there. Restrepo still bowling, but Rebecca Whiting cutting into that lead now. Adding 50 plus pins. 278 for the Australian. 214 for Lorna Scott. Now Chan Shagdar will finish things up here. And we'll get ready for the 10th frame on 17 and 18. Standings updated pretty quickly after each game, so we'll know what's happening here almost immediately. Panis now up on 18, can get to 216. Ackerman's 191 max. Great shot, but the 7 says nay nay. Drops her max to 196. All right, 196 for Panis, 191. Big 10th for Ackermans, Palamate, and Ligue. Going to close things out here in game number 1. We'll be back shortly with game 2. These ladies bowling pretty quick. So game 2 of 6 coming up here in just a minute. We've got some special guests lined up perhaps today. Ryan Reed from Canada, Jacob Butcher from the United States perhaps. We'll be right back with game number 2, folks. You're watching coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here in Hermosillo, Mexico. This is day 3 of 4 days of qualifying. One more day, then we'll cut things down to the top 24 men and 24 women. But we'll be right back with today's second game in just a minute. just like that, we are back in business. Game number 2 underway here at Bowl 300. World Cup action continues now with 8 new players here in our featured pairs, 17 through 20. Coming up on 17 and 18 from Finland, we have Sanna Pasanen. From New Caledonia is Lauren Gervelino. From Azores, the oldest competitor at this week's event, Antonetta Costa. She is 80 years old and doing her thing at the World Cup. Finally, 2-time champion back in 2010 and 11, Almaguera of the Dominican Republic. And over on 19 and 20 from Romania is Laura Piros. Her father bowled on the men's squad and now is coaching here for the women. From Reunion, we have Lancen Marine. From Colombia, Hermosillo Restrepo. We heard her on yesterday's broadcast during the men's squad. She had a lot of great insight about the event. And finally, from the Bahamas, Uchena Ijomadelva. Nice to have these folks join us here for game number 2. 6 games total. And now I'm going to step away for just one moment to get our special guest situated. It's going to be Ryan Reed from Canada. Come in and give us some insight on the men's side of things. So get him his headset and be right back with you for game number 2 and some updated standings in just one moment. All right, folks, and before we get to those standings, without further ado, making his BowlTV debut here, all the way from Canada, Ryan Reed, how are you today?
Not too bad, Matt. Thanks for having me in here.
All right, well, we appreciate your time, and hopefully some great insight from you about what's happening out there. We had Rocio on yesterday. She has some things to say, some great things, and way more than I can offer standing up here at the front desk watching for 12 games a day. But right now, you are sitting in 15th place on the men's side, averaging 209. I guess while we're watching things unfold here in our second game of the women's squad, can you tell us just a little bit about this 41-foot oil pattern and kind of what you've seen and what it's been like for you?
Well, starting out, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier. Pair to pair have been a little bit tricky for us with some transition following a bunch of different players that necessarily don't have the same idea as I do. So that and not really throwing a lot of quality shots to start off games really hurts the score overall.
All right. Well, as you mentioned, a lot of this event just about a great experience, and you're going to see bowlers of all different skill levels and ages, and coming from different places where bowling may not be as accessible or prevalent. So part of the challenge, of course, is navigating the oil pattern, working with these players, and a little bit on who you follow and all the different things that come into play. But strategically coming in day one, knowing what the pattern was after the practice session. For you and possibly Miranda at the same time, what was the plan of attack coming in, and how has that changed over the days?
Plan for me coming in was just sort of get my feet under me, being my first world level event. Just sort of want to not run around and go crazy. Just trying to find how the lanes are going to play pair to pair through practice, get the right surface on some equipment, and see how much or where the lanes were going to hook for us. We've played with a few different balls the first couple days. Changed some surfaces a few times. I know we've done that with Miranda stuff also. So.
All right, well, let's take a look at your 18 games now and kind of see off to a strong start on day number 1. And then a little bit of a struggle on day 2. Did things turn out a little bit different from day 1 to day 2 that would have led to that? Or what was, I know Jenny Wagner actually said she felt like they played a little bit different each day so far.
Yeah, starting off day 1, first thing in the morning, lanes were a little bit cooler. Actually really happy with my start. Game 6 kind of ran into a tricky pair, threw some, well, for me, some really bad shots. Cost me some pins there. Second day, lanes a little bit warmer in the afternoon. Just kind of didn't have my feet under me again. Grinded really well to get back to even pretty much on day 2. I think I finished at plus 12 or 13 for the day, which felt like it could have been a lot more, but also could have been a lot less on the other side of it also.
All right, solid day today. 6 games, over 200. I got to feel pretty good about that going into the final day of qualifying tomorrow. You know, middle of the pack right now, 15th. Just trying to hang into the top 24. What's the strategy? Do you go in? Do you play offensively and get as much as you can? Do you play it a little defensively, try to hang on to that spot? Everybody's different, but what's your thought process mentally going into tomorrow's final block?
I'm coming out here tomorrow with get as many pins as you can. I got a little bit of ground to make up for the top 8 here. I'm not looking to hold on to or play defense here at all. I'm coming out to find a reaction I can shoot some 230s and 240s with, rather than trying to hold on and stay in the top 24 here with 190s and 200s.
All right, a little bit of history for Canada here in Mexico. First 300 game at the World Cup was bowled back in 1994 by Jack Gay, and then you know, a few World Cup titles going back to Canada as well. Can you talk about the history and what the event means and what it means for you to be here representing your country?
Big shoes to fill. Canada has a number of world champions in the history, and then Jack shooting the very first 300 here in this city. I think it was '94, and then Mike Schmidt had in Canada, a historic run in our national finals. I think he represented Canada 7 or 8 times with 2 titles at the world level. So some big shoes to fill. It's an honor being here. This so far is an absolutely amazing event. Host city is wonderful. Bowling center is beautiful. Lots of room in it. Everything is going really, really well. So.
All right. Now, Mike Schmidt was the last winner from Canada on the men's side. That was back in 2010. That was the first year. Also, Ami Guerra, who's on our featured pair right now, she won 2010 and 11. And right before Ami, it was Caroline Lagrange from Canada doing her thing and winning the World Cup title. She came back and won again in 2013. Can you tell us a little bit about the selection process, how you earned your spot here coming from Canada? We heard about Colombia. We already know how Team USA works. What's the deal north of the border?
So north of the border, we have a couple different steps. You qualify out of your bowling center first. Then we have a provincial final. Once you get through provincials, you head to the national finals, which has 9 players. 8 provinces are represented, and then the last year's defending champion. So it's a 9-player field. We do a double round robin, 18 games of qualifying. Then we take the top 3 bowlers for stepladder, and you have a little bit of a cushion. Thankfully for me this year, you have to beat the leader twice in order to advance to the world level.
All right, now, how does that work in with national team selections? I know for Team USA, it's all kind of one and the same. If you win the team trials, you earn a spot here at the World Cup. Colombia, similar but different. Theirs is points-based. The points leader for their 64-game tryout process earns a spot here, but how about there?
We actually, for the World Cup tournament, it's a completely separate event. I won an event which is very small field, or the national team that will be competing in a couple weeks in Las Vegas for the World Championships there is decided at a different tournament, usually in May. World Cup Nationals takes place in July. So we kind of have two national titles. The team one is, I believe they bowl 6 games a day for 3 days, and then a longer day for the finals. And that determines the team event for us.
All right, so similar to England, Ray Teese was telling us for them, you don't have to be a national team member to bowl at the World Cup. They have a single qualifying event. So he will not be going to the World Championships at the end of the month. He is not on the national team, but now having won the qualifier for the World Cup, here he is in Mexico, and now surging to the top of the standings today to take the lead. We saw Arturo Estrada of Mexico turn in 2 solid days and then 5 great games today. Fell off a little bit at the end, still in the top 4. But I can't imagine the pressure of being the hometown hero, the guy in your home country. We saw it last year with Wang Hongbo winning the titles. Only the second time that's ever happened. Somebody from the host country has won. Have you had a chance to talk to or see the situation and the crowd behind Arturo this week, and kind of what do you think it's been like for him?
Yeah, actually today we finished on the same pair as Arturo, and I can't begin to imagine the amount of added pressure, whether you admit to it or not, but being a hometown crowd and having a lot more vocal cheering for you, it's got to be a lot more upbeat for you, and awesome to have that backup and the support, but at the same time, that those people are all there to see you succeed, but the pressure might not be the greatest thing for some people.
All right, so we'll take a look at our featured pairs now again. This is game 2 of 6, and we're just moving along. We're about the halfway point now. Nobody's shooting the lights out just yet. And we've talked to some players. They prefer the fresh. They prefer once they've transitioned, but they get a little bit tricky. So how do you combat that? You go out there, and do you personally, do you prefer what you experienced on the fresh, or as the lanes opened up, you felt more comfortable?
Traditionally, I prefer fresh, but as this week goes on, I seem to be doing a little bit better in the middle part of the blocks. I'm not the biggest fan of my role, and my game doesn't allow me to open up the lane as much as some of these other guys that are in the field. So we're going to change the game plan a little bit here to let me attack the fresh a little bit better, maybe pick up some more pins early. But I definitely haven't, the last couple of days, haven't given anything away on later on the block. So.
All right, folks, you're watching BowlTV coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. This is Matt Cannizzaro alongside Canada's Ryan Reed. Getting a little bit of insight from the player perspective on what's happening here on the lanes. We're watching some of the best ladies in the world do their thing here at Bowl 300. But now, Ryan, a big topic of conversation in the chat room, because you can only talk so much about bowling, is the overall experience. The World Cup, we have bowlers from 68 countries, some whom may not be making a run at the title here, but they're getting to represent their countries, have an amazing opportunity to enjoy a new culture, far from home perhaps, and it's an experience. The whole week is an experience. The games, only 6 games a day, and then some free time to get out and about. A lot happening here at the bowling center. For us, not too far from home, but can you talk a little bit about the experience of being around players from almost 70 countries, and anything you've learned, and of course, the experience of Hermosillo and what it has to offer? We've talked a lot about steak over the last few days here in the chat room.
I have yet to have a steak. That, I believe, is going to be on the menu maybe later tonight, if not in a couple days. But it's one of the things I've heard a lot about also, and it's one of those must-haves when you're here. It's awesome seeing so many people from so many different places, and just learning the differences, the slang. and bowling brings everybody together. It's a wonderful game, and I love meeting new people, and this is the greatest way to do it in this environment. Win, lose, or draw, everybody's going to leave here with some new friends, some new experiences, and hopefully a lot of wonderful memories that they'll be able to take back and share with their friends at home.
All right, well, thanks to social media, we've been able to keep touch with folks we've met at this event over the years. For me, I was here back in 2008, really before social media even existed, and now here in 2017, live streaming and seeing some familiar faces from back then, as well as from last year in Shanghai. And we have a young lady here on lane 18 from Azores, Antonetta Costa. She's the oldest participant at 80 years old. So she's here. I'm not sure how many she's bowled total, but again, bowling being the sport that can bring together people of all ages and skill levels. And she's holding her own, making great shots like that, picking up the 3-6-7 like she does it every day, like it's her job. What do you think about that? We've got an 80-year-old lady and then a 16-year-old two-hander from Latvia, and so much in between, so many styles, so many people, personalities, languages. What's it like in the settee area here at the World Cup?
It's electric. It's a great atmosphere. Tempers come up and down, but overall everybody is here for a good time. Bowling is a lifelong sport. In my center back home that I manage, we have youth bowlers that are 7 and 8 years old, and I have some seniors that we just celebrated a 95th birthday on a Wednesday morning league for the ladies. So seeing an 80-year-old here is amazing. It just goes to prove that fact again, that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can get out and enjoy the game.
All right, well, we're enjoying game number 2 of our 6-game block here for the ladies. We'll get the standings in just one moment. Now, I've never been to Canada. I've been to a few different places thanks to bowling. But have you gotten out much? Have you gone to many places? And how do they compare to being at home?
Haven't gone out too much yet with the evening morning. I'm going to enjoy the festivities here tonight for a little bit, which they're putting on for us outside the bowling center. I'm looking forward to. But I have got to enjoy a few tacos and a little bit of tequila when we're here. So I figured I might as well take in some of the local food and drink, and it's been a great time. I felt really comfortable here and I've enjoyed it. It's a little bit warmer than I would like, but what can you say?
Now, have you traveled much recreationally or traveled because of bowling?
Travel a lot with bowling, mostly in Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon. Bowl USBCs a bunch. Was in Vegas this year. Undecided about going next year. But yeah, I get out a little bit. Within Puerto Rico for PABCons back in 2001. Or sorry, 2011 with the national team there. And then also we did Tournament of Americas back in 2001 when I was there. Bowled collegiately at Lindenwood University, St. Louis, so got to see a lot of the Midwest United States. So always enjoy packing up the car and heading out on that road trip, that whether it be 3 hours for me to Seattle or 5 to Portland or a little bit farther drive, or make it out to Reno and Vegas also.
All right, what is your hometown?
I live in Vancouver, BC.
Okay, so now a lot of folks, they just, Canada is just to the north. Nobody doesn't really put into perspective the geography or the vastness of the country itself and where things are. You hear the names of the cities, but placing them where they fit in above the United States, certainly this conversation has helped immensely. Knowing that we are talking about the western portion of the continent, so definitely good to know.
Yeah, we from my door to Seattle is approximately a 3-hour drive.
Okay. And very similar to your friend Jacob Butchuff. You guys were chatting earlier. This is his first time out of the United States. He got his passport stamp for this event, and he's only, at this point, 348 miles from home, just across the border in Arizona. So he's almost like the hometown favorite. If Arturo Estrada wasn't here. Jacob would be the next closest, I think, but then he'll have the opportunity to get to bowl the World Championships. Not in an exotic location, but he'll get to represent his country again, 350 miles from home in Las Vegas. So kind of awesome to be close to home and have the hometown fans behind you. But perhaps there'll be some additional travel down the road. I know that's part of the experience as well.
Yeah, Jacob and I talked about that actually, is that he could have drove here from home faster than his flights were. I, on the other hand, it was a little bit longer of a day.
Well, typically they'll let us know during the banquet where the next World Cup is going to be. I don't know if that's going to happen this weekend or not. Last year we did find out in Shanghai that we were headed to Hermosillo again. A pretty fantastic location, I think. Just, you know, they know how to host the event. It's their third time for this city, sixth time for Mexico. And the bowling center, the staff, I would think everybody would agree, have been terrific. The entertainment outside, the food, the accessibility, just everything has made this very convenient and enjoyable so far.
Most definitely, man. This is a top-notch event. Everything's run amazingly smooth. Talked to a number of different bowlers, loving the venue. It's large, spacious. Nobody feels crowded. Lots of room for spectators. Wonderful events they have planned for us after bowling every day, just right outside. So, yeah, it's, I can see why they've hosted this being their third time now.
Well, we can tell you who else is enjoying the venue here at Bowl 300 today, and that is Rebecca Whiting of Australia. Started the day with 278, and now, if we can find her in the live scoring, she's here somewhere. She's making a run at 290. She's on lanes 13 and 14 to our left. Spare in the first, and then a 7-bagger, and she is trying to work her way and chase down Jenny Wagner. Let's take a look at the standings on the women's side here. So some game 14 is already getting wrapped up. So the standings going to get a little bit tricky here, but Jenny Wagner still leading the way. Her 13-game total, 29.77. Vanessa Timter right behind her. Rocio Restrepo third. Rebecca Whiting up to fourth place after that 278 game to start. She is going to make her move here early. She's down just 100 and change to Jenny Wagner. Fifth place is the local from Mexico, Maribel Orozco. Erin McCarthy, sixth from Team USA. Crisalyn Tabora of the Philippines is seventh. CT Rahman, eighth. Ghislaine Vandertol is ninth, and Sana Pasanen has worked her way into the top 10 here. She's bowling on our featured pair right now, stepping up in the 10th frame on lane 18. She can get to 216 here in game 2. And from Azores, Costa having a terrific game. We saw that split pickup. Actually, it looks like a clean game from here. She's going to be at 199 with a strike on the fill ball. So a lot of people cheering for her, just really enjoying her being here. And then we're a few frames behind over on 19 and 20. The cut number right now, it's Bach Jespers from Belgium. 24.65 total, 189.62 average. But a few players close behind as game 4 wraps up on some pairs. I'm sorry, game 14 overall, game 2 for the day. So again, we'll have 18 game totals when today concludes. One more round tomorrow, and then we'll cut the field down to the top 24 men and 24 women. So we'll come back Friday morning for 8 games. And then after those 8 games, the 32-game pinfall totals will determine the top 8 for round-robin match play. And then we'll get down to the top 4. So long format, a lot of games. Some players prefer that. Rebecca Whiting led for a couple rounds last year, came up short in the round-robin portion of the event. Right now she's got the first hit in the 10th. Still working on 290. Ryan, what do you think about the number of games, giving everybody a chance to really enjoy and have a chance? You know the cliche, the cream will rise. But the goal, number one, make the top 24, then focus on the top 8. But a lot of bowling, 6 games a day, though, spread out. What do you think about that?
I've always been a fan of the longer formats. I think the more games, the better. Definitely lets you, it gives you some time to, everybody's going to have a bad day or some bad game, so the longer formats definitely are going to help you out. With the morning, afternoon, morning schedule, it's nice because it gives you a lot of time to go out and explore. Rather than being up early every morning, you bowl early in the morning, bowl in the afternoon the next day. So you pretty much have a full day off in the middle, which, you know, you can go out and go do something. Check out the city, maybe a ball game, just sightsee, be a tourist while you're here. That's the beauty of traveling and being in different cities for tournaments, is check stuff out.
Well, last year with 4 squads each day, a lot of free time in Shanghai to go around and see some things. Rebecca Whiting finishes with 289, and just a funny story about her last year, she took the lead on the early squad one morning, then they didn't bowl again until the last squad the next day, so it was 40 hours later. They actually took the train and went to Disneyland and did something that they probably would never have the opportunity to do again from Australia. And I think that was pretty neat. So here, maybe not as exotic of opportunities like that. Nobody's going to take the train or take a flight to Anaheim or anything like that. But still, you know, Mexico, a lot to offer. Certainly, some markets and the delicious food. We always come back to that. You know, we've seen the advertisement. This is where that started. I don't know if you noticed, but in between games, the advertisements for the different local places, there's a meat butcher shop, and they deliver meat. They do, and they have a steak that has just been showing after every single game over the 2 days.
Yeah, I think that every time I've went out, it's been carne asada tacos. Really haven't had that many vegetables since I've been here, but I'm definitely getting my fill of steak in my tacos. So
a little bit different format here with just the 2 squads, so a lot of folks spending much of their time at the bowling center, near the bowling center. That's why the entertainment right outside. Really cool that the variety of things available at night, and we'll actually have a special guest performing tonight. One of your fellow competitors, Luis Montfort from Catalonia, will be out there. DJ Luis will be mixing it up, entertaining the players a little bit. Just a chance to sit back and relax and probably get to know each other a little bit better than if you were all scattered doing your own sightseeing.
Yeah, that's I think one of the things that's a huge benefit of having the entertainment right here at the bowling center is that you see a lot of the guys hanging around and just checking out what's going on after, support their female teammates, and then hang out at the bowling center, enjoy the entertainment. It's no need to head back to the bus. There's a lot of times you can, what do you do, spend your night in the hotel by yourself, and might as well socialize and meet some new people.
Well, there's some people trying to meet Jenny Wegner at the top of the standings. Jenny's bowling well this game, though. She is one pair to our left. And Rebecca Whiting not going to catch her this game. If I wasn't blind, I could see the scoreboard. She got a 9 count in the 10th. So 236 would be the max score for her. So Rebecca's going to pick up another 50-plus pins and make this thing interesting. We saw it earlier. Jacob Butchoff almost caught Arturo Estrada. And it ended up being Ray Teese. So you never know. No lead is safe. Jacob, especially learned last week, he led the U.S. Open in New York by 600 pins. Came down to the step ladder and he bowled well. Just had a split in the middle of the game and ended up finishing second place to Rhino Page at that event. So it's just the nature of our sport. You know that going in.
Yep.
Here at the World Cup, the goal, make the top 4. And then it's a shootout at that point. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And the 2 winners bowl for the title Yenny has been there. She did it last year in her debut. Defeated Danielle McEwen in the championship match. And it was Bernice Lim, I believe, who led much of that event, along with Rebecca Whiting. But it keeps it exciting down to the very end. Just a very cool experience format here at the World Cup. We'll watch our final couple frames here on 19 and 20. Romania, Reunion, Bahamas, and Colombia. And then we'll let Ryan get back to socializing and enjoying what the World Cup and Bowl 300 have to offer. Any insight or any advice you can offer? You mentioned bowling collegiately. You bowled for Canada as a youth bowler and now at the World Cup. Any advice for those in the chat room and out there in the world looking to get to this level?
Find a coach. Find a certified coach that can help you. It's been the biggest step for me is working with a coach and players that are your quality or better. Try stuff, always be learning. My YouTube feed is full of bowling videos all the time. Just immerse yourself in the game. Hang out at a pro shop, ask questions. We have a couple of new young guys that are running a pro shop in the center I run right now. They've only been in there since July. They went and did the class from Mark Buffa in Montreal, who's been on the national team for a while, and Dad has coached overseas. Just since July, my knowledge has went up exponentially. Just smarter overall about bowling, learning little things here and there. There's no such thing as a bad question or a dumb question. If you don't know something, the best way to figure it out is by asking somebody. Ask somebody who knows more than you do, and just become a sponge. Soak it all up.
All right, folks, you heard it here. If you have any questions in the next 3 minutes, Ryan Reed is your guy here in the BowlTV booth at the World Cup in Mexico. Drop those questions in the chat room. Otherwise, you're stuck with me, and I'm glad to answer any questions. I can find the answer if I need to, and as I said, if I don't know the answer, can't find it, I'll be happy to make something up and make it sound believable. But we do actually have a legitimate question. Ryan, would you rather have different patterns every day or the same one every day like this?
Well, Aaron, seeing how you're my sister, I prefer the same pattern every day. It lets you create a game plan and see how well you can execute, knowing what you're coming into. It keeps you on your toes still. You follow different people. The patterns are always changing. The morning block to the afternoon. So maybe the same oil pattern, temperatures vary. We're not a robot, but it definitely is they play different day to day and lane to lane.
All right, so it's okay if all the bowlers brought 2 or 3 family members into the live stream. Numbers would be great. We appreciate everybody joining us. And if you're having a good time or you're enjoying the insight from Ryan Reed of Canada, please hit the thumbs up. Let him know. Let everybody know. So right now, there's 47 thumbs up. Any additional ones from here to the next 3 minutes all belong to him. And I'll go ahead and answer this question for Austin Taylor. How does the tournament work after qualifying? Well, after tomorrow's qualifying round, the 24-game totals over the last 4 days, 6 games a day, will determine the top 24 men and 24 women. And then we'll go to another 8-game round. Pinfall will carry over. And then 40-game pinfall totals eventually, after the 8-game block, will determine the 8 players, men and women, who go to round-robin match play. They'll bowl a match against everybody in the position round. And then those 40-game totals with bonus pins for winning will determine the top 4 for our televised bracket. So 4 versus 1, 2 versus 3, and the 2 winners will bowl for the title. All right, and how does Canada pick who goes to the World Cup? Well, we kind of covered that a little bit earlier. So luckily we have a rewind feature, so we won't make Ryan give that whole explanation again. But long story short, there's a qualifying event for the World Cup in July,
Yeah, our national finals have been in July. Steps, you go through your house qualifying, provincial qualifying, and then to the national finals. Win your national championships, and they put you on a plane to the Worlds.
There you go. And then for making the actual national team and competing for Canada at events like the World Championships, different event, different time of year. So multiple opportunities depending on your schedule, availability, or your desire, I guess, at that point. What you're interested in. Do you want to be part of the World Championships, PABCON, different events like that? Or does your schedule allow for perhaps just one opportunity being the World Cup? So very enlightening to hear how things go in other places, and we're almost done. Just a couple more shots left. Anything else that you can offer to the people, the great people at BowlTV, before we head out?
Any last advice? Share this with your friends. We need more people involved. Bowling is, I said it before, it's a daily thing for me, is that this is truly a lifelong sport. It's doesn't matter. There's nobody ever rides the pine. You sign up for a league, you get to play every day, no matter how good or bad you are. You just come out, have a good time, and that's the main thing, is enjoy what you're doing.
All right, and final question for Ryan Reed of Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about your arsenal, your ball selection, and possibly a favorite type of layout, if you want to get that specific, that will help you succeed here?
My favorite type of layout. Today I threw 2 code reds. I threw one with a 3.5-inch pin for me to start on the fresh with a 3,000. I just touched it with a 3,000 pad to start. Then game 3, I made the change to code red that had a 4-inch pin for me that the guys at my shop and my center have laid out for me. The shorter pin was a last-minute addition a couple days before the event, but it's made the cut and helped me out a little bit. So give a shout out to those guys at JR Pro Shop out there and helping me get my arsenal ready for this week.
All right, folks. There you have it. Some terrific insight from somebody other than me here on BowlTV. My name is Matt Canizaro. We've got Game 3 coming up in just a few minutes. Can Rebecca Whiting continue this amazing performance she started with today? 277, 289. We're joined here in this game by Ryan Reed from Canada. Very good information. We do appreciate you being here with us. It looks like it's time for you to go sign some autographs. So we won't keep you any longer, but definitely good luck the rest of the way. Enjoy being here in Mexico, and hopefully, perhaps, we'll see you later in the week, even on the TV finals.
We're hoping, Matt. Thanks a lot.
All right, folks, that is going to do it now for game number 2. We'll have game 3 coming up in just a minute. You're watching coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here at Bowl 300 in Mexico. We'll be right back with game number 3. right, folks, we are back now for game number 3. Some good questions, a lot of information going back and forth here in the chat room. So very cool to educate some folks on different things and learn stuff about other places in the United States. Tristan has said we have a Team USA Trials where we pick who goes on Team USA and Junior Team USA, and the top finisher for the men and women go to the World Cup. Essentially, that is it. Team USA Trials takes place over 4 or 5 days in January. Different lane patterns, and the eventual winner of the actual Team USA Trials earns a spot at the World Cup along with a place on Team USA. So a handful of spots to Team USA given out at that event. And if you are age eligible, also a chance to qualify for Junior Team USA. But ultimately, the current process is that the winner of that event gets a spot in the World Cup. And then from there, all Team USA members get a chance to attend Team USA training camp at the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas. And that is where part of the process goes for selections to other events like the World Championships, PABCON Championships, World Games, World Singles, etc. So all at the discretion of the coaching staff, but the only automatic is the World Cup given to the Team Trials winner. Right, so with that said, let's turn our attention now to game number 3. Keep the questions coming, by the way. It's a much better flow when there's some additional things to chat about. But on our featured pair, 17 and 18, this game from Norway, we have Usa Jakobsen. From Croatia is Ivana Krajagic. And from Spain, we have Raquel Mir Cuevas. And from Latvia, the mother and son duo competing this week, it is Veronika Kujakovic. And on 19 and 20 from Malaysia, CT Rahman. From Brazil is Stephanie Martins. From Switzerland, Karina Hugen. And Luxembourg, we have Nora Terzi. With the story of the day, Rebecca Whiting. 278, 289. She's at 567 after 2 games today. Looking to potentially shoot 800. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. We've got the update through 2 games today, 14 overall, and Rebecca trying to chase down Jenny Wegner. Jenny leading the way. 32-12 is her 14-game total. Rebecca is at 3150. So a difference of 62 pins with 4 games to go today. Third place, Germany's Vanessa Timter, 31-33. So she also is within striking distance. Then a little bit farther back, Rocio Restrepo of Colombia, 30-61. Crisalyn Tabora of the Philippines, 30-25. Maribel Orozco from Mexico, 30-21. Erin McCarthy, Team USA, down to 7th place at 3,000. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 29.88. Ghislaine Vandertol, the Netherlands, 29.01. And Sanna Pasanen of Finland, 28.88 in 10th place. cut number. Stephanie Martins here in our featured pair. 26.48, averaging 189.14. She is 4 pins ahead of Charlene Lim of Singapore, trying to hold on to that 24th spot. If you're following the live scoring, you want to check in on our top players. See where they are this game. Rebecca Whiting of Australia is on 7 and 8. Jenny Wagner of Sweden on 21 and 22 to our right. That's where she shot 300 in the opening round of qualifying. Not going to have a 300 this game. She did have the first 3 to start and then a pair of 9 counts. And Timter of Germany is on 25 and 26. So again, it's like we saw the men's side. Could get interesting here. As now only 62 pins separating our top 2 players, with Rebecca Whiting having a pretty incredible day so far on day 3 here at the World Cup. Rebecca needs 233 this game for 800 to start the block. So it's still possible. She's halfway through the game now on 7 and 8. The eruption that you hear from the crowd there in the background is Maribel Orozco is on 15 and 16, 1 pair to our left. She started this game spare 4-bagger. So the crowd getting into it. It's a Wednesday night, so everybody local off work. So bleachers getting filled up, family and friends, and bowling fans. Many more people here than early in the day during the work day. Also enjoying some of the entertainment outside. Each night has been a different type of entertainment, so trying to give everybody a taste of the local culture, but at the same time just make everybody feel welcome and give them something that they might enjoy specifically. So it's been a good time. Couple more days left, so don't go anywhere. We do appreciate you being here with us. If you're enjoying the broadcast, hit the thumbs up underneath your video window, and maybe we'll get to do this again in 2018 in a location to be determined. We do have a question coming in from a good friend we'll just call Lane Maintenance Bob. And he is curious about the oil pattern we're using this week at the World Cup. It is a 41-foot oil pattern. Pretty standard at this event. Designed to be a little bit higher scoring, fair, easier to attack, get to the pocket for the bowlers of all different skill levels. Still have a good time and bowl well. And because of the number of bowlers per lane this year, 3 or 4 for the women and 4 or 5 for the men, the volume, especially in the front part of the lane, a little bit higher. The oil of choice this week is Utopia, using all QubicaAMF products, of course. This is the QubicaAMF World Cup. So a little bit higher friction lane surface from AMF here, and showcasing their top of the line scoring system. their lane machine, the Summit S, and as mentioned, the Utopia oil, which many of us not as familiar with. We tend to deal at USBC more with the Kegel products, so it's a little bit different, and of course it's going to transition a little bit differently, and all adds to the challenge of bowling. We have had 1 300 so far. It was Jenny Wegner on day 1 of qualifying on this pair she's on right now, 21 and 2, just to our right. We're able to capture that on camera. So if you go back to the BowlTV homepage and click on the 2017 QubicaAMF World Cup playlist in the left-hand menu, you'll be able to watch the final 3 shots of that perfect game. You probably have to scroll down a little bit to catch that in the menu, but it's there along with every round of qualifying so far, and that's eventually where all of the rounds of competition will be stored moving forward. All right, game 3. Moving along quickly. Shout out to Harry Clinton. Very confusing, but welcome. From Ireland, live in Australia, watching in the Philippines. Jealous of all the world travel, but thankful that you've joined us here. Appreciate the support. So do the players. Speaking of Australia, let's check in on Rebecca Whiting. She's down on 7 and 8. Still with a chance to shoot 235 this game, so she can shoot 802 for her first 3. Down 62 pins to Jenny Wegner, who is bowling well and not looking to give up the lead anytime soon. Germany's Tempter struggling a little bit this game on 25 and 6. Nice pick up there by Tercy on number 20. This is our 3rd game. just coming to a close. About ready for the final frame on 17 and 18. 3 more games coming up. Got some great insight yesterday during the men's squad from Hermosillo of Colombia. I'm going to go back and listen to that in the archives. Plenty of good stuff about this event and competing for her national team. And tonight we were joined by Ryan Reed of Canada, giving us similar insight from his perspective north of the border. What it takes to be here at the World Cup, what international bowling is like for Canada, and just some great thoughts on this week in Mexico. Right, let all your friends know we are only halfway through tonight's squad. So join us, get on BowlTV, watch some of the best women in the world do their thing. Cuevas from Spain, about to close things out on lane 17. Jakobsen going to do the same on 18. And a great shot by CT Rahman. We've seen that many times on the PWBA tour. Now trying to bring her country the World Cup here in 2017. All right, looks like the run at 800 has ended for Rebecca Whiting. She has a split in the 9th frame. She picks that up. Best she can do is 215. She'll be short. And Jenny Wegner striking quite a bit here on 21 and 22. She's about to get up into 10th frame. She can shoot 257, so she'll likely increase her lead over Whiting. Maribel Orozco trying to get herself into the 240s. Crowd loves it. You probably saw it off to the right there. Wegner whiffs the head pin. First shot in the 10th. Leaves the 1-2-8. You see that standing on the deck. Best you can do now, 224. So potentially pick up a few pins. Final frame underway on 19 and 20. Stephanie Martin's trying to hold on to a spot in the top 24. That's 3 in a row for her. 202 max. Tercy, a little mess to clean up here in the 10th. Nice pickup. She'll get opportunity to add some sticks here. 161 max, so good save there. Great spare shooting. Shot by Kragic of Croatia. So Whiting has opened in the 9th. Best you can do, 203. That'll give her 770 for her first 3 games here tonight. Wagner's gonna try something new. Final shot for Yenny. Ball change, leaves the 2-pin. .233. CT Raman, disaster in the 10th. She's working on 3 consecutive strikes. 6-1. Tough way to end a well-bowled game, 206. Now Hugan is going to close things out. She'll shoot the 10-pin here. Take her free shot, 186. Max score for her. We'll have game number 4 coming up in just a few minutes, folks. Continued coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. Appreciate everybody being here. Maribel Orozco doubles in the 10th. She'll be in the 240s. Making her move here with 3 games to go. We'll be right back with game 4. Thanks for tuning in. You are watching game number 4 of our women's qualifying block here on day 3 of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. This is Matt Canizaro live at Bowl 300 in Hermosillo, Mexico. 3rd time the city has hosted the World Cup, 6th time overall for Mexico. We've got 3 games remaining on tonight's squad. Then we'll be out and about, enjoying what the city has to offer, perhaps a nutritious meal for getting ready for the final day of qualifying here at Bowl 300. That happens tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern. The ladies back on the lanes. The men will do their thing at 3:30 local time, 5:30 Eastern. And after tomorrow night's squad concludes, we'll know our 24 men and 24 women advancing to the next round. That was a great shot there on lane 17 by the young lady from the Philippines. She's been bowling very well all week long, Crystalline Tabora. She's joined on this pair by Russia's Maria Koshel, and from Hungary, Charlotte Dostai. Also from the Czech Republic, Anna Potakova. Over on 19 and 20, we have a threesome this game. 4 on the left, 3 on the right. From El Salvador, Edith Quintanilla. From Bulgaria, Marina Stefanova. And from Germany, challenging the lead all week so far, it is Vanessa Timter. Can she get there? A 3-player race at least for that top spot. See if she can make a run at it here late on day 3. All right, halfway through on 17 and 18. This is game 4. Take a look at the updated standings. See how much fun we're gonna have. leading the way after 15 games. Jenny Wegner, she has increased her lead with a nice performance in game 3. Her total for 15 games, 34-45. Second, Rebecca Whiting of Australia now, shooting .770. Her first 3 games tonight. She is 90 back, 33-53. Vanessa Timter of Germany, 33-24. Maribel Orozco of Mexico, 32-70. Rocio Restrepo of Colombia, 32-67. Crisalyn Tabora of the Philippines, 32-22. Erin McCarthy, Team USA, 32-07. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 31-94. Sana Pasanen of Finland, 31-13. And Edith Quintanilla, she's on our featured pair. This game is 10th from El Salvador, 31-06. 24th spot right now, Bach Jespers of Belgium, 28-46, averaging 189.73. Melania Rossi of Italy is close behind, 13 pins back. Right behind her, Ingrid Julia of Catalonia. Still a lot of folks in contention for that final spot. We've got 9 games remaining. Petakova of the Czech Republic. We saw her bowl well on BowlTV yesterday, bowling well here again, up on lane 18. She is in 31st place. Less than 100 pins out of the number. Big game here. Throwing great shots like that would be great for some movement in the standings and confidence. Our last 2 games, 203, 232. Take a look at the live scoring, see what's what and who is where. Rocio Restrepo down on 3 and 4. Maribel Orozco, crowd favorite, down on 9 and 10. Got Timter of Germany right now on our featured pair, struggling a little bit here in game 4. Wegner down on 27 and 28. Spare double. And Rebecca Whiting, no strikes through 5. She's got 5 spares. So Wegner in control at the halfway point of today's action, looking to become the 4th player in history on the women's side to win the World Cup in back-to-back years. Last one was Clara Guerrero of Colombia, 2014 and 15. Previous Almaguera, 2010 and 11. right, nice little crowd online tonight, nearly 400. We appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing here of the World Cup and Bowl 300, give a thumbs up. Let the folks at the QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup know you appreciate the event and the coverage. This event dates back to 1965. This is the 53rd edition, and looking forward to hopefully having a 54th and possibly being there. So thumbs up means thank you. And any questions or suggestions, feel free to drop those in the live chat. Be happy to answer any questions for you as we watch these final couple games here. Remember to find us and like us on Facebook, The Sport of Bowling USBC, or Matt Canizar USBC if you'd like to see what happens behind the scenes a little bit. And on Twitter, you can find us at USBC or at USBC Matt. All right, Rebecca Whiting for Australia has made the move to the high end of the house on 29 and 30 this game, and strikeless through 7 frames, started with 6 spares, followed by a split for an open. So struggling here and slowing her attempt to catch Jenny Wegner. Down on 3 and 4, Rocio Restrepo, a pair of 8 dash splits. Also, Vanessa Timter not bowling well here in our feature pair. Sweden's Wegner bowling well enough to hold off any opposition at this point in game number 4. All right, now up on lane 20, Quintanilla. She's in the top 10, trying to stay there, struggling here. It's like 19 and 20 is getting kind of messy. Nobody really able to get lined up this game. Great shot there by Dolstai of Hungary in the foundation frame. Two more games to go, and then we'll call it a night from here at Bowl 300. Bowl 300. Takava still bowling well. Carey not on her side here late in the game. She is going to be in the plus here in game 4. So any plus is good news. Almost disaster there for Stefanova, but gets the 8 to go. Here's the young left-hander, Kashel of Russia. 17 years old, according to our info. Good shot, but leaves the 6 pin. 10th frame for her, 195 max score. And Dolstai can get to 187. Tipter, great shot. Gets the 7 to go for the 3-bagger. Heading into the 10th, can get to 216. Nice break for Kashel on the fill ball. So everything seems to be hooking early. And going high for her, so maybe time to check the bag. Heading into game number 5. Takava stepping up on 18. Clean through 9. Hasn't carried the last 3 frames. Still can get to 225. She is trying to get her way into the top 24. So Takava 31st. Great break there, getting the 4 to go forward. So 31st. 80 pins out of the number. This game certainly will help. All right, Dosai 174, Kishel 195. Tabora can get to 206. And Patakova still got the first hit. Trip to 4. 225 still out there. 10th frame happening on 19 and 20. Quintanilla. 196 max. Tempter adds 1 more. That makes 4. 216 possible. Great shot by Tabora. Very impressed with her this week. .206, and Tempter adds another. She'll be in the 2 teens. Good shot by Quintanilla. Tempter closes out with 214. Keep her in around the top 5. Third coming into this game. We know Whiting was struggling down on 29 and 30. They're already done, so didn't grab that score. Wagner's going to shoot 218, pick up a couple more sticks on the field. Final shot coming up. Quintanilla, Big Ten frame, get to 196. Villanova 2 more for 190. Got 2 more games coming up, folks. Don't go anywhere. Tell your friends there's still time to watch some terrific women do their thing here at Bowl 300. My name is Matt Canizaro. You're watching the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. Learned a couple of Spanish words this week. A couple I'm not going to use them right now. Maybe not appropriate for the BowlTV audience, but with that said, I'm going to take a short walk, and I will be right back for game number 5. Stay tuned, folks. More coverage coming to you from Hermosillo, Mexico. All right, back in business. Just had a nice chat with L.A. Regnard of South Africa. Stopping by to say hello again, and told me a little bit about the selection process for South Africa. He said they have some certain events that they have to bowl throughout the year, and they accumulate points based on their finishes at those events, and then they take the top 24 on that national points list. They advance to a special event called World Cup qualifying. Typical, I think, 1 or 2 day event. They have stepladder finals. The winner earns a spot at the World Cup. But I think as the week goes on, and then we have the World Championships coming up, we'll hear a little bit more about the process and see what else they do there and how they select perhaps their team for the World Championships if they qualified, and we'll be headed that way. Mentioned that in Canada and England for sure, the World Cup and the national team events completely separate, whereas in the United States, if you're on Team USA, you have the option or the possibility of traveling to any international event if selected, and the winner of the team trials automatically goes to the World Cup. So Jacob Buttroff won the team trials, so earned the spot here in Mexico this week, and also was selected for the upcoming World Championships. So he'll be the lone left-hander for the United States, but as a member of Team USA, he is on the list of possibilities for that selection. So we are partway through game number 5 here. We have not met our 8 players. Let's do that now. Up on lane 17 right now, that is Melanie Rossi from Italy. From New Zealand, we have Suzanne Howell. From Ecuador, Nicole Andrea Riano Sanchez. And from Portugal, there's Christina Suarez. And on 19 and 20, Charlene Lim of Singapore. France's Stephanie de Borg. From Scotland, joined again by Jackie McCall. And our final player from Turkey is Adila Mishalov. Game 5 now. One more game to go. And then it is dinner time. I mean, story time. Then dinner time, of course. Work first. Sustenance later. Let's take a look at the standings now through 16 games. Those pulled up. They are updated. Jenny Wegner now leading by 123 pins over Rebecca Whiting of Australia. So our defending champ total is 36.62, averaging 228.88 for 16 games. Rebecca Whiting is at 35.39, 123 pins back. And then we have 1 pin behind Rebecca is Germany's Vanessa Timter at 35.38. And then 80 pins back from there. Rocio Restrepo of Colombia, 34.57. Maribel Orozco of Mexico, 34.56. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 34.35. Krisa Lynn Tabora of the Philippines, 34.28. Erin McCarthy, Team USA, 34.12. Then 100 pins between 8th and 9th. Sanna Pasanen of Finland, 33.13. Edith Quintanilla of El Salvador, 33.01. That rounds out your top 10. 24th spot still, Bach Jespers of Belgium, 30.24, averaging 189. Just ahead of her, Stephanie Martins of Brazil hanging in there. Stefanova of Bulgaria. And just outside the number in 25th place from Catalonia, Ingrid Julia. She is 6 pins out. And then from Latvia, Veronika Hudyakova trying to fight her way in there. Rossi, Melania Rossi on our featured pair is 27th. She is 32 pins out of the number right now. Charlene Lim hanging on in 29th place. She was the number after day 2. Rebecca Whiting is a couple pairs to our right. Strike, spare, 3-bagger for the Australian. We took her picture yesterday just to have it. Told her might as well do something, make me use it. She was trying earlier, started the day with 770 her first 3 games. And our leader has made the turn, Jenny Wagner of Sweden, down on lanes 5 and 6. We'll see if she can hold off the charge from Whiting and Tempter here with 2 games to go. Pick up on the bucket. Mariano Sanchez of Ecuador, tough spare on any condition. Start here for Rossi. We'll make it 4 out of 5 here. Up on lane 17. McCall also blowing well. Spare 3-bagger to start. Rossi delivers. Now McCall up on 19. Call gonna have a little bit of work to do. She's down in 35th place. Got 120 pins out of the cut right now. Great shot there by Sanchez. 10-pin uncooperative. Rebecca Whiting still striking. 2 games to go, trying to make up 123-pin deficit to Jenny Wagner. Now that we're 3 days in to this week's competition. Clearly see camaraderie and friendships developing among the players. 68 different countries represented. For many of the nerves probably starting to go away. And now others accepting maybe that this will not be the year they'll be taking home the World Cup, so just trying to soak in what they can of the experience. Meet new people, make some new Facebook friends. All right, Wegner down on 5 and 6. She is through 7. She can get to the 230 still. Wegner's max score drops to 223. Becca Whiting still can go out for 280, so she can cut that lead in half with a game to go. Create a little excitement. Although that is a tall task for just 2 games remaining. let's take a look and see what's happening on our live scoring. Jenny Wegner still can get to the 220s. 223 max for her. She's in the 10th now, got the first hit. Rebecca Whiting can shoot 259. Make up some pins, but she'll have a huge task ahead of her in the final game. Tempter struggling here. We'll need 3 in the 10th for 202. Jacob Butcheff just stopping by to see what's going on. We'll have him on tomorrow in the middle of the women's block since we're so close to the end here. Don't want to waste all of his good insight as we wind things down and say goodbye. So off to our right, Rebecca Whiting finishes out the 259. 221 for Wegner down on 5 and 6, so picking up a few pins there, but still a long way to go for Whiting. She's going to catch Jenny Wegner today. right, final frames on our featured pairs. DeBorg 202. McCall open in the 10th for 192. Tough break there for Michelot. With the split 3, 6, 7, 10 to shoot at here. Charlene Lim looking to make a charge. Big shot. She leaves the 3-6. She was on 4 consecutive strikes. Her max now 226. And over on 17 and 18. Mariano Sanchez up first. 178 her max. And Suzanne Howell going well this game. Clean through 9. Can't get to 212. Rossi. To break back into the top 24. 258 if she can throw 3 in the 10th. And 202 max for Suarez. here we are. Players on the move. Looks like we'll have some heavy hitters here for our final game. We'll wait for 17 and 18 to get here before we introduce everybody. But looks like Whiting and McCarthy already coming our way. Looking forward to introducing them for the final game of the day. My name is Matt Canizar. You're watching coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. Game 6 of 6 for the ladies coming up. They'll be back on the lanes tomorrow at noon Eastern for their final block of qualifying. Who will be the leader? Stay tuned and find out with us here live on BowlTV. We'll be right back. That did not take long at all for the players to get settled and get underway as promised. On our featured pairs this game, first up, Rebecca Whiting of Australia with the split in the opening frame. Nice little feature story today on Shagdar from Mongolia and her son. She's up on lane 17 right now. Also on that pair from Catalonia, Ingrid Julia, and from Wales, we have Louise Roberts on 19 and 20, Ursula Ackerman of South Africa, Lithuania, Rada Palamate from Tunisia, part of the husband and wife duo here, Hala Mizzou. And of course, final player, Erin McCarthy of the United States. We haven't said much about her today. She's been quiet, plugging along. Yesterday she had the highest block of the day, man or woman, 1,400 plus. Today just kind of riding the momentum of all of those pins yesterday, plugging along, hanging around in the top 10. Starts this game with a double. So we'll have the updated standings here momentarily, and we'll see how things are going to shake up. It would take a ridiculous performance from Rebecca this game, already with an open frame, to catch Jenny Wegner. See what the official numbers are. Standings updated through 17 games. So the difference now, 85 pins. So definitely doable. Rebecca cut into that last game, shooting 259 to Yenny's 221. Wegner on top, 38.83, 228.41 average. Whiting second, 37.98, 60 pins ahead of Germany's Vanessa Timter. Rocio Restrepo is fourth, 36.71. Crystalline Tabora, 36.42. She's from the Philippines. Erin McCarthy up to sixth place at 36.37. Her games so far today, 190, 193, 207, 205, 225. Seventh place, Maribel Orozco of Mexico, 36.31. CT Rahman is eighth at 36.29. So very close here in the standings after third place. Ninth place, Edith Quintanilla of El Salvador, 35.05. Sana Pasanen of Finland, 34.94. Cut number right now, Ingrid Julia here in our featured pair of Catalonia, 32.38, a 190.47 average, so that 24 spot average going up. Melanie Rossi is 22 pins back. She was bowling well here in our featured pair last game, shot 224. See if she can't finish strong, jump her way into the top 24 with 1 day to go. So there you have it, there's the rundown. We'll take a look at where Katie Wegner is. She's bowling on 11 and 12, started with a double before. Looks like leaving the 7-10 in the third frame. So again, she is up 85 pins on Whiting. A comfortable position to at least lead for one more day. We saw Whiting destroy the fresh earlier. Shooting 770 for her first 3. Interesting point to point out, made by Ryan Reed earlier. A big difference between bowling early and late. He said the lanes were a little cooler in the morning squad, bowling at 10 a.m. So the ball reaction and the atmosphere a little bit different than here in the evening. Bowling a nice squad, a lot more people in the venue. So that, of course, is going to affect the environment. McCarthy started with 3 strikes, 10 pin. Standing in her way. Whiting. Single pin, lane 17. Ingrid Julia trying to hang on to a spot in the top 24. 6, 7, 10, gives it a run. All right, interesting story online about Shagdar and her son. And he's actually in college right now. So they live in Colorado in the United States. How about that? So, two mothers and sons. Nice little feature story on the World Cup website about that. The others from Latvia. Artemis Hudikovis. And Veronica Odyakova. And then father and daughter from Romania, Valentin and Laura Piros. So if you want to read that story, get a little background, check that out. The link to the World Cup page is in the information box below your video window. Again, a lot of great stuff there. Some insight in the husband and wife team we mentioned already. Khaled and Hela Mazou from Tunisia. They've been bowling since 2009. Only missed one event since then. Husband and wife, Louise and Gareth Roberts, representing Wales. And a cool story, we had Ryan Reed on earlier from Canada. And his mother, Miriam Reed, competed for Canada in 1978. How about that? So, didn't mention that on our interview with Ryan Reed, but cool little fact. Just learned that on the World Cup website. So, story called "It's a Family Affair." All right, let's take a look at some scores now. Jenny Wegner, double open three-bagger. She's on her way to remaining atop the standings on 11 and 12. Suzanne Howell from New Zealand has the front six. She's going to step up here in a minute looking for 7 in a row. We'll keep an eye on that. Australia's Rebecca Whiting struggling here in game 6 today. Not going to be a threat to Wegner, at least for today. Very capable. Possibilities for tomorrow. Stephanie Martin's making a run. Open, six-bagger. She's down on 29 and 30. She's just inside the cut number in 23rd place. But we can make a little bit of a jump here to close out the day. And it looks like Howell's run on 11 and 12 has come to an end at 6-9 count in the 7th frame. So we're just going to wait out the final frames here. Wegner going to hold on as your leader. Rebecca Whiting likely going to be second, although Timter only 60 pins behind coming into the final game here. All right, funny conversation happening about Aaron McCarthy in the chat room. Yes, Aaron is the one with the Team USA jersey. Started this game very strong, but struggling a little bit here in the middle. There's a few frames remaining here. We appreciate everybody hanging with us today. We'll be back on the air tomorrow at noon Eastern. Ladies, we'll be at it one more time. We'll cut the field down from 54 to 24. Just to our left, Colombia's Hermosillo Restrepo. Spare 4-bagger. Trying to grab some extra sticks here to close out day number 3. All right, winding down. A couple frames left. Any final questions you guys have? Drop those in the chat. Close things out. Get a recap posted on bowl.com tonight. And then get ready for tomorrow. The excitement. Final round of qualifying. Then we'll know our top 24. Get the cameras reset for Friday's action. And then be back at it one more time as we whittle the field down to the exciting TV finals. Last year in Shanghai, what an awesome venue we had for the final round. Beside the basketball arena, they built the lanes right there on the court. Bleachers around it. Definitely a championship atmosphere. It won't be the same here in 2017. Be inside the bowling center. Lanes 19 and 20 will be the TV pair. But 2.5 hours of live television. Gonna bring that to the fine people of Mexico. Right, we are ready for the final frame on 19 and 20. Aaron McCarthy looking to finish strong. Started with 3 in a row, working on a double heading into the 10th, so you can get to 234. That's a great score this week on this 41-foot oil pattern. She had an amazing day yesterday, only 1,400 of the event. Today a little bit tougher. Great shot there. Will the 10 go? Cannot get the messenger. So 2-teen, best she can do here with a spare and a good fill. Becca Whiting, 9th frame, struggling this game. Cannot get this pair figured out. 1 strike, 2 strikes, sorry. First half of the game, nothing since. Working on a baby split. McCarthy spares the 10 pin. 213 max for her. Eckerman's going to step up. She can get to 194. Great shot there by Ingrid Julia. Trying to hang on in the top 24, 214, the best she can do. Maribel Orozco trying to finish strong for Mexico. She just threw 3 strikes, including the first one in the 10th. Restrepo to our left, still striking. So even after all these hours of bowling and watching, the crowd is still lively here in our final game of women's competition. Here's McCarthy. Final shot goes high, 3-6-10. 210 for her. Tough day. Still in the top 10. So got enough yesterday. Able to grind it out today. McCarthy shoots 1230 for her 6th game today. All right, Orozco, wowing the crowd. Sending them home happy. Down on 25 and 26. Final score looks like 234. Oh, nice effort. I can see players, it's got to be pretty draining. 6 games of intense international competition. But exciting and energetic up to the very end. Question about the Japanese and Korean bowlers not being here. Hard to say. There have been a lot of other events going on in their region this year. You mentioned the SEA Games. So focus elsewhere perhaps. World Championships coming up at the end of the month as well. So for some, while it's only 1 player, maybe focused on that. 2 trips to North America within a couple weeks, sometimes very expensive and challenging. So all could be good reasons. But focused, the World Championships coming up in Las Vegas, starting just after Thanksgiving in the U.S. So teams will arrive about November 23rd. So really only about 13 or 14 days away from now. Probably wouldn't have made sense to have that player possibly and the coaches come here and go back or stay here. Sometimes the distance is just a little bit too great. But it's all just speculation. Don't know that we have a definite answer. All right, Rebecca Whiting finishes with 172 on 17 and 18. Ingrid Julia 203. Now Roberts and Sagdar going to close things out. And on 19 and 20. That is it. Eckerman's 180. Alamatai finishes with 179. So folks, we're a couple shots away here from calling it a night here at Bowl 300. It's been a fun day of live streaming. We saw some excitement at the end of the men's squad. New leader, Ray Teese of England. And some excitement here early on the women's squad. Rebecca Whiting making a run, shooting 770 her first three. Looks like Yeni Wagner is going to hang on to be the leader. Rocio Restrepo striking up a storm compared to our left. Spare, 7-bagger. Could get her, let's see. Right now she is 4th at 36.71. She's 212 pins behind Wegner. Hermosillo, 127 pins behind Whiting. So she can't quite make that up. Whiting shot 172. Hermosillo can shoot 290. So she won't catch Rebecca. Could go around and tempt her into 3rd place right now. And of course make it tomorrow very exciting because it's a cut day. If there's a tie for the final spot on cut day, it'll be a 1-game roll-off. See what happens there. All right, final shot of the day coming up, folks. Any questions from here on out, you have to find us on social media, Sport of Bowling USBC, or anything Matt Cannizzaro related. You can go to Matt Cannizzaro USBC, or on Twitter at USBC Matt, at USBC is the main USBC account. Final shot here for Roberts. She finishes with 191. Things getting quiet here. We're going to get packed up and do it all over again tomorrow, 10 a.m. local time, noon Eastern. Folks, thank you for being with us here tonight. Tell all your friends. Join us tomorrow. Show the support. Grab a thumbs up under your video window before you head out for the night. And show that support for staff and the event as well. We do appreciate the opportunity to be here and bring this to you live here on BowlTV. That is the news for now. Again, noon Eastern tomorrow, next round of women's competition. Until then, that's the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.